Hello everyone, welcome back in another video. I am Babu. In our today's video topic, we are going to see why string is immutable. Today is the date of 6th of August 2022 and we are going to see why strings are immutable. So basically, we are all know what is a string. String is nothing but is a collection of a different collection of a similar. It is a collection of characters or sequence of a character. So there is one concept that is the immutability. Immutability means non-changing ability. That means if anything is immutable, that means it does not change itself, or we are not able to change that thing. So this concept comes in Java when we are using a string. So strings are immutable. In our previous video, we are seeing string buffer and string builder. We have got the difference between them. That is, the strings are immutable and string buffer and string builder are mutable. So in today's video, we are going to see why or what the reason to create string as immutable. Let's see. As we know, when we are creating any object, that time we are using two methods for creating object. That is, one is the literal and one other one is by using new keyword. When we are using a literal type, that time we are, let's suppose I am creating a string as I am writing like string s1 is equal to Vaibhav. In this case, there is a Vaibhav is written between that two quotes, and after that there is an end of block. So in that case, the Vaibhav is my literal. So with the help of that literal, I am creating an object. In our Java, there is some memory allocation are done as per there is a main heap memory, and in that heap memory there is a SCP. Some part is covered by the SCP. That means some memory allocation is done for the SCP. So SCP is nothing but string constant pool, and we are also called as string literal pool. Why we call? Let's see. So whenever we are creating object by the literal, that means that time that literal object is created within the SCP, that is our string constant pool. That means the memory allocation for that object is done within the our SCP. So as we have all we know. But when we are creating a string by using a new keyword, that time we are creating a new object, because the syntax for creating that object we are writing as string yes is equal to new string and then Vaibhav within that parenthesis and the end of block. So that time we are using a new keyword. Due to that new keyword, when we are using a new keyword, so new keyword means that is the predefined word which is encoded by the Java developer. So when we are using a new keyword, that time that new keyword create or allocate the memory space for that specific object. That means we are creating that object. That time that object will take a place within a heap area. But also there is a one more object is created. Due to that, it also take place in a SCP. That means when we are creating a new object by using a new keyword or by using that new method, that time they're creating two objects. One of this is stored in heap memory and another is stored in a SCP. So that time, let's suppose we are creating that string. So I am creating a string for the students' names. Okay, I am creating a string like string s1 means student 1. That student's one name is Arjun. So that Arjun will be stored in a SCP. And again, I am creating a same name, the same data type, same name string again as s2. I am creating another string, that is string s2 is equal to Arjun. So in this case, the same data or same object will be stored in our SCP. Due to that, our s1 and s2 are directly pointing towards that object which is stored in a SCP. In our literal case, when we creating an object, that time our JVM can search that object within the SCP. If there is that object is present, that time JVM does not allocate a new space or a new memory for that object. If there is that object is not present, that time the JVM can allocate the same space for that new object. That means if there is a we are creating that Arjun object firstly, due to that object is present in SCP. Because of that, when we are creating a new object S2 is equal to Arjun, that time JVM can find out that Arjun is already present in SCP. Because of that, it does not go to create a new object or does not allocate a memory for that object. It S2 is directly refers to the Arjun. That means S1 and S2 are both are directly representing toward the Arjun. So that time, let's suppose I have to concat for that string. There is one string is Arjun and I am taking another string as a Shubham. If I want to concat this two string, that is S1 dot concat with the S2. That is one string is Arjun and another string is Shubham. So there is a concept of immutability. Due to that, I am not able to concat these both things within the same object, within the S1. When I am giving that command, that time the S1 and S2, then Arjun and Shubham are not directly concat in same object. That time JVM can create a new object for that concatenation condition and it create object S3 and store and allocate the memory for that new object as Arjun and Shubham. After that it concat then when we are printing S3, that time it shows us result, but when we are after that, if you are printing the before S1 and S2, it show individuals. So after that, let's suppose if we are creating new object, we are overriding the object within the heap area. That means when we are creating a new object, that time the memory allocation will be done in a heap area and SCP also. If we are override that heap area object, the memory allocated in heap area object, if we are overriding, that means S1 is equal to Pune and I have to override that S1 by Nashik. That time I can override that, but that time that S2 can indicate to the Nashik and S1 are called for the garbage collector. That means if there is not any reference is present for that object directly call for the garbage collector. That means if any object is present in our memory area without any references, that time it directly called by the garbage collector and garbage collector remove that specific object from the memory. But this condition is not followed for the SCP, because each and every object which is created within the SCP are internally referred by the JVM. Due to that, there are not any requirement for the giving any directly reference for that object which is written within the SCP. Okay. After that, we are going to see some advantages of immutable string. That means why we are create a string as immutable. So first advantage is that if we are using the same data. Let's take a real life example. Let's suppose there is a ticket counter and there is some data for the passenger traveling and their locations. If that there are some villages like some cities like Delhi or Nashik. So that time, if anyone have to go for the Delhi, that time it give us input as a Delhi, and between them passengers. Suppose there are 100 passengers. From the 100 passengers, 60 passengers are calling for the Delhi. That time, the Delhi can be stored in one memory location, and that 60 passenger can directly pointing toward that Delhi object. That means we are reducing the consumption of memory, or we are reducing the use of memory by reducing the creation of object. That means we are using the same object for as per the requirement. Okay, so that is the one of the advantage of string immutability. By creating string immutability, we are increasing the safety, because if any if any private data is there, that data cannot be changed by another, because that data is stored within a string. So there is a not any chance to directly interfere anyone to change that data or catch that data. After that, one more advantage is that when we are creating a string immutable, the memory allocation is under control. Due to that, the speed of execution or quality of code is increased, because size of code is reduced. So that is overall about the string immutability. Thank you.